Cap of the week, and we begin with the US election, or as you may know it, the Clowntown Fuck the World Shit Show 2016. This was a particularly big week for the Republican Party, with Donald Trump winning 7 states on Super Tuesday and 2 more last night. And while yesterday's wins were a little narrower, it does appear that Republican voters have, for the time being, decided not to make Donald Drumpf again. Hashtag make Donald Drumpf again. In fact, Trump's opponents spent the week seeming increasingly desperate.
He's always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me, he's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2". Have you seen his hands? They're like this. And you know what they say about men with small hands? You can't trust them.
No, that is not what they say about men with small hands. And if you can't say the word penis, don't imply the word penis, because at that point it's not even an insult, it's a Christian rock lyric. But even as primary voters embrace Trump, the Republican establishment is rejecting him like a transplanted organ, which is fitting, as Trump does resemble a kidney dropped on the floor at a supercuts. But to truly reject an organ, you need white blood cells, and the GOP called up the whitest blood cell of them all.
Now, Donald Trump tells us that he is very, very smart. I'm afraid that when it comes to foreign policy, he is very, very not smart.
Okay. And that is very, very not a very good insult. But Romney wasn't alone. Prominent Republicans lined up to publicly attack their own party's frontrunner.
I'm just hopeful that we aren't faced with the possibility of having Mr. Trump as our nominee.
I cannot in good conscience vote for him, and I will not.
If we nominate Donald Trump and put him on a glide path to the nomination, Republicans will be committing an abortion on their own party, and it will be the end of the Republican Party as we know it.
Holy shit! You know they're getting desperate when they're just throwing in their favourite buzzwords. He won't just be an abortion, he'll be a Sharia law wrapped in a Benghazi-themed gay wedding. And I mean it. I'm not understating that. I mean it. But Trump, not surprisingly, Trump hit back hard at his critics with his tiny hamster-sized fists during Thursday's debate.
He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.
That's right. Donald Trump just talked about his dick during a presidential debate. A dick which I presume looks like a Cheeto with a cheese dust rubbed on. I presume. That's a guess. But you know what? I'm glad he brought it up. Mainly because I now have an excuse to play you something that we didn't have time to include last week. Specifically, an audiobook excerpt from his ex-wife Ivana's For Love Alone, a barely fictionalized account of their marriage as read by Morgan Fairchild.
In a moment, they were on the floor, on top of the mink coat, Katrinka's legs gripping his waist as he moved deeper and deeper into her. As Adam pulled away from her, his cock fell for a moment into the valley between her legs, leaving a smear of semen on the dark silk. He smiled with satisfaction. "Now you have to keep the coat," he said.
Oh, that is horrible, although, whatever you think about that, you can't say jizzing all over your girlfriend's clothes is not presidential, okay? Huh? You can't say that.